Om Shanti. Finish the seed of impurity and become completely clean, pure. Light, soul conscious form. Complete purity means not to have any vice, even in your thoughts. In your attaining this knowledge, these virtues, and all the powers, your crown of light, of always being complete and perfect, and having all attainments, should constantly be clearly visible. Constantly experience yourself to be light, and in your soul conscious form. Experience yourself to be light when doing everything. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vikti Parivar. Today's day 13. Finish the seed of impurity and become completely clean, pure. Today's topic, light, soul conscious form. Dadi Prakashmani Ji's specialities shared by Dadi Janki Ji. 13. To be free from any sinful thoughts, to be free from obstacles in a great samadhi. 1 are the storms of Maya, second are the obstacles of Maya, third are the bad omens of Maya. For Dadiji, Baba said that she was always free from obstacles, free from any negative thoughts, and always had a pure and gentle nature. We have all seen this with our eyes. To be free from any sinful thoughts, to be free from obstacles is a great samadhi, sacred space of tapasya. To be free from any sinful thoughts, let there never be any sinful thoughts in your mind. Now, you simply have to stay in remembrance and demonstrate by doing everything practically, by making such effort and becoming an image of success. We remember Dadi. Just as Dadi was an embodiment of success, similarly let us become stars of success. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi ji.
Om Shanti. When you are listening to Dadi Prakash Mani's story from her childhood, of course, we appreciate, but also when she's sharing this, we are connecting that with her role which she had to play. But also, I would suggest that each one of you, you look at your childhood and see some of the sanskars, some of the nature you had which help you to belong to Baba and play the role what you are playing today. It's very interesting, right? You go back to your childhood. What kind of child were you? What were your hobbies? What did you like? And then you connect with your role when you came to Baba, of course, in Lokik journey, whatever was your role, but then when you come to Baba, then whatever role you had to play, whatever responsibilities Baba has given you, they must be connecting definitely. And when we hear that Dadi was star of success, I think we all are stars of success. Baba's every child, your birthright is success. We always say success is our birthright. That means when you belong to Baba, in your fortune is written you are a successful star. Everyone. Now, definitely, when we are on journey, knowing that we have double tasks. One task is, of course, whatever we have accumulated, our past karmas, all that has to be settled. But while settling, if we remember that I also have to create for golden age, right? So I'm not only just uh, moving away and settling, but I'm also creating elevated action, elevated thoughts, elevated words. So success is that when there is something which you are settling, your faith, your determination, your inner powers, they all are at test, right? You just have to hold on to those qualities and see. Always remember Baba's blessings of confluence age, belonging to Baba with the power of yoga. And as Baba said this morning, the treasure of blessings which you receive every moment. Whatever you do, whosoever is receiving the benefit in any way, they give blessings to you. So when you have all that, then settling is easy now. Use one of the treasures. I like this morning when Baba said, love of Baba, power of elevated actions, and the treasure of blessings. Settling is okay. If I have to pay off 10,000 rupees, then I have saving, I give them. So it gets settled now. So internally, just kind of have this understanding that I am earning income, so I can pay off, right? If I am not earning, so the fear is not of settling, but the interest is to earn more income through my service through mind, service through words, service through keep accumulating, so that when you have to pay off, you have enough, right? It's not you have to worry now, what will happen, how will it happen, no. No, even in a Lokik way now, certainly some expenses come, but you have enough, so you pay off. So at confluence stage, for the success is accumulation, and then just pay off, no battling. It's kind of internally, don't allow your mind, because sometimes settling could be through mind, like it, mind goes into many different stages. Just at that time, as Baba is giving us the yukti of soul conscious state. I am light, I am a soul. Because that practice is something very, very important. Right? So on this journey, look at your whole life, be happy. Whatever role each one of you have is very important for each one of you. I have to play with role with lot of love, with total lightness. So our homework for tomorrow is light soul consciousness form. Light soul consciousness form. So that's our practice for tomorrow all day. I am light, I am a soul. Complete purity means not to have any vice even in the thoughts, and in attaining the knowledge, attaining all the virtues, and attaining all the powers. Baba says that your crown of light will always be complete. Crown of light. Because then other crown comes, right? So anytime I have to increase my capacity, just increase the light now. It will give lightness. So crown of light will always, Baba says, being complete and perfect and having all attainments, Baba says, should constantly be clearly visible. And one of that quality is contentment. Contentment means I am full. Constantly experience yourself to be light, and your soul consciousness form. Experience yourself to be light. And what you do, then do every action. Be light, and in that light stage, do every action. So we know that any kind of heaviness, any kind of pull. So that's why before action, just sit for a few minutes. I am light, I am in soul consciousness, then do the action. Then sit, then do the action. So that inner lightness will make everything easy, simple, and you will feel your attainment. Because one is externally skilled, you have many things you are good at. Other is internal power, internal lightness makes everything very simple. Oh,
Om Shanti, Didi. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say Om Shanti to the Chinese family. I was listening to their translation of you just to get the flavor of the Chinese language. And one of the things I want to say to you about the Chinese family that you were talking about is that they love knowledge, but even more than knowledge, they love to experience the soul conscious light and the light of Baba. And I asked them, what is the word for father in Chinese? And they said, Baba. So when we're talking to them and we're using the word Baba, they are very comfortable with the word Baba. And so we, the Dadis and particularly Nirvai Bhai used to say Almighty Baba and Supreme Baba. So when we were talking to them about Baba, I was using this term Almighty Baba and Supreme Baba. So the Chinese heart is a heart that is very close to Baba, is very close to Baba the light. So one day, I don't know if you could take a trip there, but you would be so happy to be with that family. The family is so, so beautiful. And to see them in Madhuban is one thing, but to see them on the field of service is also very, very special. So I'm sure they're sending you lots and lots and lots and lots of blessings, Didi, because they say one of their main sources of sustenance is Avyakti Parvar. And it's morning for them because it's exactly 12 hours difference between New York and China. So hello, my Chinese family. It's lovely, lovely, lovely to see you on Avyakti Parva. And so, Didi, you were talking today about the light, and I always appreciate when you make this distinction, when you say that the soul, as a soul, is light and might. And after being light and might, then the soul connects to those intrinsic and original qualities. So even before I would say I am, I need to say I. And the I of soul consciousness is where the light and might is. So would you say, and you said also that one of the most important things about the confluence age is to accumulate that light in the soul. So would you say that when I'm in the awareness of I, the soul, the light and might gets accumulated in the practice of soul consciousness and the awareness of being connected to Baba? Is there a natural accumulation of the purity that Baba is talking about that is foundational to all the other qualities in the soul? And then the second would be, I am the peace that emerges out of the purity. I am the love that emerges out of the purity. But I want for you to talk about this distinction between the I and the I am, the light and might, and then the virtues and powers.
Actually, we talk a lot about mind, intellect, and sanskars. Right?
Uh-huh.
But we forget that actually, when we introduce the soul, soul is light, might. Within the light and might, there are three abilities of thinking, power to discern, and doing. That is sanskars, make us do. So I think that this whole awareness of myself with total, that I am light, I am might, I have ability to think, I have ability to discern, and also to do actions. Full that is there. I think what is required, I feel, little more attention we all need to do, which I think we did maybe at early age of Brahmins, when before starting every action, we took a moment, like starting the car. When you put the key in the car to start the car, take a moment and be in that embodiment of who am I. I think that it's very subtle, might not be visible, but that consciousness of I will somewhere the ability of clarity, ability of control, ability to coordinate, many powers to emerge. So soul consciousness increases and allows our powers to function. Even let's say I have tolerance, but I am in body consciousness. So if I'm tolerant, maybe I'm subservient, not only tolerant. Maybe I'm unnecessarily tolerating. And why we should tolerate that long? Maybe we can find a solution. So I feel that if we have more practice of soul consciousness, I underline, even for my own self, all of us, that more you find your powers and your virtues will function in an appropriate way. And that's where we will feel. But also this whole thing of our dadis, when they came in the beginning, they always said Almighty Baba, because that is the time they needed more strength, because the things they had to do, they didn't know. Where they going? How will they start? From where the center will emerge? Like it was difficult. When I remember when they came, they didn't know anything what to do, because for 14 years in isolation and tapasya, when they came out in the world, they were unknown to everything. So they keep saying Almighty Baba. So it's like they are emerging Baba. Baba, it's your power, it will help us. So it was very beautiful. So I think both things, the practice of I and in soul consciousness helps us to use all the powers in an appropriate way. And secondly, of course, invoking Baba as Almighty Baba also helps us to use the power or take the power, whichever is necessary. These two are very good practices.
I have been practicing, especially being the embodiment of soul consciousness and really connecting myself as this incorporeal being to to Bapdada, both at the level of the angelic as well as the incorporeal. And I find that it's been a very, very good practice for me. I feel so much a deeper understanding of when he says the soul has to become pure, what that means. What does this purity, how is it experienced? And it's really experienced through the light of soul consciousness. But the soul must be connected to Baba, otherwise the purity isn't felt. Just the soul consciousness is felt, but the purity is only when I'm connected to him. But following on to this, there is a brother, Sister Didi, who is doing a PhD thesis. And the subject that he has chosen is actually a very interesting one. It is called The Spiritual Ascent of Brahma Baba, a journey from soul consciousness to the angelic stage. And he's asking the question, I'll ask the third question actually that he's asking, because it's connected to what you were talking about, this soul consciousness, this light, and this might. And he's asking, it's a question that I think has been asked many times before. The last three words that Brahma Baba left with us were incorporeal, egoless, and viceless. And he's saying, okay, incorporeal, nirakar, he understands. Nirvikar, he understands. The viceless stage, he understands. But his question is Nirahankar, which is the egoless stage, isn't that included in the Nirvikari stage? Now, I will tell you, when I read this, and based on classes by you and classes by the Dadis, my own understanding, just to prompt you in terms of this particular question, and that is, one is the viceless stage, the Nirvikari stage, but why Nir Arhankari is a category of its own. It's because of what Baba said in a few, I think it was last Sunday's Murli, in which there is the subtle I that gets attached not to the vices. He's not talking about an ego that is connected to the vices, but he's talking about an ego that is connected to the gifts of God that I suddenly take on to be my own. So it's an ego that is connected to the inheritance. And that's the ego he's saying it's near ahankari that we need to get rid of. And I was thinking of that in relation to this question. And I share it just as a trigger to your thinking on this matter. Why is near ahankari in and of itself a category of the last stage?
You know, when we belong to Baba, then we have attainments through our personal efforts. And we also have blessings from Baba, because each one of us, we are instrument of Baba. Being instrument, we get extra help or gifts from Baba. Many things you feel is from Baba, comes to you. But then in between, I feel this is what I am, you know, in the sense of subtle ego of all what I have attained. Even they are from Baba. That is why Baba says, consider every speciality as the gift from Baba, not my speciality. And it's true, because I think we forget sometimes, but when each one of us recollect, I can think of that when I came to Baba, I mean, had whatever I had education, but everything what I learned is really from Baba, from Dadis, and of course through professional people like Jagdish Bhai taught us something, Anand Kishore Dada, they all taught us many small things, you know, for us to. But then suddenly I am this, right? But it should be that I am trusting, and Baba has trusted me with all these specialties, plus then the task also, right? But it's not only Baba's task, but capacity to give, ability to learn, all that also was given by Baba to me. So from there, that subtle ego which could emerge after attainments, you know. So Baba wants us also to be total trustee and not have this mind, right? Ego of anything. So this second part, after belonging to Baba, whatever we have, always remember, I am trustee of that also. Everything, what I am able to do, I am trustee. So then there is this ego, which could be pure ego, not negative maybe, not harmful, but it is ego. That's how I see ego as a separate and then other vices too.
He has two more questions, but I think our time is up. So maybe I'll ask the other questions next week.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Everyone asks this, that Baba says vice less, then why he says ego less, you know. I think we all at this stage can check if I have that ego. And as Baba said, take homework of I am light and soul consciousness. So that will remove if there is that ego.
Yeah. And that ego, Didi, is an ego that assumes an authority that could be misused by thinking that the inheritance that I achieved from Baba is suddenly mine to use in the way that is authoritative.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.